Well, it's great to be in a bye week. What a great opportunity for our players to really have extra time to focus on their academics. An opportunity for them to rest, get our bodies rested after 9 straight games in a season. Some guys that have been dinged up and either played that way or haven't been playing have an extra opportunity now to heal. I think that that is a great thing. So also a good thing for us. There's so much great buzz and juice around the program, and recruiting's gone really well and gives our coaches a chance to be out doing a little bit of recruiting right now. You know, that along with getting ahead on NC State right now. So I think all in all, you know, people have asked me a bunch of questions about, you know, we're playing in a good rhythm right now. I agree 100% with that. But I think with a positive vibe, coming off a good win, I think this is a week that we needed. And hopefully we'll be able to maintain our rhythm and our confidence and come back and play a week from Saturday against a really good NC State football team here at home at Alumni Field. The atmosphere last Friday night, you know, was fantastic. It was a great moment for us to be able to be a part of the Red Bandana game, to be able to honor the Crowther family, Wells Crowther. You know, it was a great, as I mentioned, post-game. So excited to see our stadium on fire like it was, and certainly appreciate all those loyal fans that have supported us and were there in force and created a great atmosphere. So we're excited about that as well. So now it's all about going back, getting, you know, into the grind here. We'll practice on Wednesday and get going. And we're excited to have that opportunity to do that right now. So any questions?
You kind of touched on it, but just talk about the recruitment value of playing a Florida team on national TV and then coming out on top.
Well, it's certainly a really watched slot. You know, that Friday night prime time seems like a lot of people see that game. And so it gives you great national exposure, and then you're playing a national team. And then, of course, the way that we played. And I think that there's certainly adds to a great buzz about the program right now. And so that's a good thing. You know, just got to keep going. You know, I've said it before. You know, we are playing with so many guys at critical positions that are very, very young players that what we need to do is just keep growing, getting better. You know, for me to stand up here, as I think I say each week, and think like we're done with roller coaster rides, I would say that's probably not an accurate statement. But there's a clear vision and there's clear evidence on the field of really the excitement of the future with our football program. When I say future, I don't just mean like next year. I mean 2 weeks. But when you have guys at those critical positions sometimes, you know, everything's new. Everything's first. Like, okay, now the bye week, I think, is a great thing for us right now. But as everybody's pointed out, I mean, let's see how we handle that with guys that have never had a bye week, right? I mean, honestly, they're all firsts. And so that's why I kind of focus on let's have the best Wednesday we can have when we get back on the field on Wednesday. And let's not worry about anything else because too many unknowns. The thing that's not unknown is the quality of the players that we have on this football team. The energy, the juice, the attitude, the chemistry, those are known. And the opportunity to see excitement in some of the playmakers that we have in all 3 phases. The other thing is I'm just really proud of the way we've played as a team. We're playing good team football right now. That was evident after watching the tape. You know, it's the Boston College football program. It's not, you know, broken down into 3 segments. I mean, we're one team. We play like one team. We feed off each other like one team. And that's really the thing that I really wanted most here to have happen. And that's something that's actively happening.
Can you comment on Ty Schwab's game?
Yeah.
He kind of spilled the beans a little bit that Florida State never even gave him a sniff. And,
yeah, it's probably a common story for a lot of guys in our team,
yeah.
You know. Common theme. Ty's playing his best football right now. Ty's an emotional guy, playing really hard, making plays all over the field, playing really physical, He's doing an unbelievable job because he's the guy back that kind of connects the front and the back end there at the linebacker position. The only linebacker that has any real experience, right? And but he's really just done a great job with that. He's having a fantastic year, and certainly happy for him, and he's just thrilled. He's been here for a long time, and watching this thing come together. I think he's just really enjoying being part of a real team, and so that's been an real added bonus to watch, and I'm enjoying seeing him mature and grow.
You kind of enjoy watching NC State getting Notre Dame and then Clemson.
Well, they got some ball, They've had a tough go round. Listen, we played those same teams, right? I mean, the teams we played have a combined record of 26-6. That's what we came off of. Okay, and so as it's been duly documented, this conference is rough. This side of the division is rough, and they came off a tough game with Notre Dame. They got another tough one against Clemson, and it's not easy. And so they're in that grind just like we have been and will continue to be. And and you watch Wake played Louisville, and I mean, there's just a lot of good football in the ACC right now, and you got to bring it every week. Doesn't matter who you are, and so we're grateful to have a chance to try to get healthy and rest, and they're in that swing right now, and then we're home again, which is a good thing.
Coach, you mentioned the Boston College team, the 3 phases. From a chemistry standpoint, how can you kind of predict that from the beginning, or how do you see that? Is that something that when you bring in players and recruit them, is that kind of something that you take into account, and kind of how do you go about that as a coach?
Well, you're trying to bring guys in here that show high character and leadership, and the ability to bring others up, and it's funny. We were watching the documentary on Wells Crowther, and they were talking about Wells growing up and his mindset of how he got so much enjoyment from trying to do whatever he could to promote others. And I remember watching that and like, wow, how do you figure that out? How do you evaluate that? Because that's a key thing, and that's in the world we're in today, it's even harder sometimes to find that. So, but I think it's a key component. I think, we talk about it all the time. It's really important here. We all try to work real hard at making sure that, we're one family. In college football today, you notice that even in the media, it wants to be like, like this coordinator's offense or this coordinator's defense or this head coach's. I mean, I'm not really into any of that. I mean, I feel like it's not me, it's us, it's we, it's Boston College, and I've always believed that, you win with great players that play together, okay, and have a sense of accountability to each other, and it's really hard to get that done, because probably of the social media and everything, and internet and all the stuff that goes on today, it's even more challenging than it ever has been. But when you can find that, it's cool. And I think, I'm not naive enough to think that there's, human nature is human nature. But I think we've got a good group of guys right now that really believe and understand the importance of team chemistry and the guy to your right, the guy to your left, and finding the best out of each other. And I think the other thing we talk about is faithfulness and loyalty will always be rewarded. And our team has been incredibly loyal and faithful, coaches to players, players to coaches. There's a love in our program, and that gives you the ability to conquer the ups and downs like college football. I mean, we went through it in the beginning of the season too, and who knows what's ahead of you. But it's the glue that lets you handle that stuff. And I know, like, sometimes I'll talk about this, and people want to talk about something else. That's fine, but that glue and that chemistry within your program, I think, is critically important. And you can see it in other programs that when things don't go exactly right, it can crumble really quickly. And that sometimes has a lot to do with that glue and that chemistry. And so anyways, you know, it's just good foundation, whatever word you want to use.
And kind of your younger players, I know that, you know, injuries have kind of been an ongoing storyline for you through the season, but the younger players stepping up, is this kind of what you hope to project them to when you recruit them, is a little bit earlier? Kind of how do you evaluate, either on the trail or when they come in, that they might project to a certain area in a certain type of performance?
Well, I think you're always trying to do that, but to be honest with you, you know, been wrong as much as you've been right. I mean, you know, sometimes it's just hard to know, you know. But I think the opportunity for these guys to come out and gain this experience and shine out there is fantastic, and the knowledge of knowing that some of the guys we've lost are all going to come back, so that we're going to have so much more depth next year, and veteran leadership. You know, sometimes you don't have a lot of time to stop and think about it, but sometimes I think about it. A guy like John Baker coming back with all that leadership now to that offensive line, and Elijah Johnson coming back to that offensive line, and Shane Leonard coming back to the offensive line, and Connor Strahan coming back to the linebackers, and Max Richardson, who's all ball, coming back to the linebackers. And it's just that stuff is really, really exciting. And then, of course, the freshmen that you're seeing playing right now, and then there's some more that have played very little, or some that haven't played at all, that you look at them and you say, wow, you've seen enough already to know that there's really good top end. And then all these other guys in between that are starting to blossom. You know, Mike Walker's playing some really good football right now. Jeff Smith making some critical plays for us. And then you see the guys like Charlie Cownan, who's overcame the injury. He was playing his best ball, and now he's coming back, and he's going to do a great job down the home stretch. And Thaddeus Smith, who's doing an unbelievable job this year. And those are all good deals. So it's exciting, and you know, but we're one game at a time right now, and we just got to do the best we can to come through this week and get ready to play. I know it's going to be a real war here.
AJ and John are obviously the beneficiaries of the rushing yards, but how much of that is them being able to work with the offensive line, and how have you seen the development of the offensive line with the same lineup kind of move forward?
Well, the offensive line's really developed. I mean, right now we're in the top 10 in the country and fewest sacks given up. I mean, we're number 2 in the country and most plays being run. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there right now, but the offensive line is gelling. If you said to me, my biggest angst is the fact that I know we're paper thin on both sides of the ball. So we just got to stay healthy. Like, that offensive line has had a chance to gel now for a few weeks, and we've seen some value from that. But we can't take too many hits there because we've got guys that are out right now. But they're coming together, and I think that combined with the running backs coming together, and then let's not forget, you know, that, and we all don't, when the quarterback plays well, all the boats come up with the tide. And the quarterback's playing well right now. And so all of a sudden we're seeing better receiver play, better running back play, better offensive line play, tight end play. And I think it all goes hand in hand. But that quarterback position is pretty darn important, you know, because he controls so much with every decision. He touches the ball so many times. Anybody else? Julian? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anthony or Harold, do they practice all the time? Do they sit? How do you manage that?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's in a different situation. You know, I wouldn't see Harold taking any practice reps this week. You know, Anthony will be limited in what he does. I mean, there's a lot of guys across the board will adjust. This is a week to me where you evaluate your team. Tremendous opportunity for the young players to get a bunch of work in here in practice. But we'll get you know, you got to throw and catch, because if you don't throw and catch for more than a few days, that's where you can really, it'll show up really quick on you. So we're going to throw and catch. We're going to do some real fundamentals, individual fundamentals, special teams, fundamentals. We're going to do a bunch of that on Wednesday. We're going to get introduction to NC State on Wednesday in short yardage and goal line, and in base fronts, and base plays, both sides of the ball. So we'll do some of that. But the duration will be cut down. And some guys will have graduated work, maybe minimal to none early, and maybe towards the end of the week a little bit more. And the young players will get a bunch of work. We'll scrimmage them and really, really coach them. This is a great week to me when you're a young player to get a lot of attention, a lot of focus. Especially, I mean, I'm talking about the ones that aren't in vital roles right now, but this is part of that development for the future. So it's a mixture of both. and really keeping in mind, keeping things short, not making them long, and but getting ahead. And little salt, little pepper, kind of take a look at it, feel it a little bit, and make some decisions. But the guys that are dinged up, this is your one opportunity to get them healthy. Don't blow it now, in terms of that stuff. So, and then overall, you got that fine line between, okay, say on Thursday and Friday, you want to make sure you don't lose your rhythm, and how much physicality do you don't want. We'll probably have a fair amount, which has a little bit of risk, but I think that's what we've done. I think we got to be true to that and just pray and hope that, you stay healthy through that. Because if you don't do it, by the time you get back to it, you might lose. I think you can lose that rhythm really easily. And that's where all that stuff is that I can't give you I can't define it right now. I'll go Wednesday and feel it for Thursday and feel it for Friday. And those are all calls that, kind of I got to make, to be honest with you. And I'll make them as we go. Well, I think the thing is this: you have a plan, and you drive towards your plan. In college football, I'll speak to that because I'm not involved in any other sport. Fans have. Here's the good news: there's so much interest in college football right now, and we all want that. And so fans are passionate. Your fan base is passionate, and you kind of get that. In terms of what we've done, we've been to 3 bowl games in 4 years, and that's not where we want to end. But I think the most important thing is we're continuing to grow and develop our football program, and I think that's been evident, and we got to keep doing that. And I think as a coach, what you want to do is you just every day kind of building towards that. And I don't think you can ride the roller coaster of the ups and downs of, are you in favor, out of favor? I just think that you lump it in a basket and say, we got great fans, everybody's passionate, all everybody wants to do is win, and that's all we want to do. And I think we're just trying to build and develop and grow. I tell you one thing, can I say this to you though? I'm going to brag about something here that I'm pretty proud of. We have recruited and have a bunch of really high character, great kids in our program that are talented. Recruiting's going fantastic. There's a bright future. But you know what I'm really proud of? That we love Boston College and we represent Boston College the way that the BC fans and alumni would want Boston College to be represented as being, we play hard, we play physical, we play tough, and we got some really great people in our program. They respect the academic component of BC. They value their degree. They carry themselves with integrity. And I'm proud of that. So I think while we're building our program, while we're developing, I think we're doing it the right way. And that's very important to all of us, that we represent this great university the right way. And integrity is really important here. And so, I'm proud of the fact that we've accomplished what we've accomplished, and more importantly, we're continuing to work towards building a championship level team here. And so I don't mean to go on, and I'm not trying to do an infomercial. You asked me, and that's really what I felt in my heart. In terms of, the other stuff, just keep going. And next week's another week. You don't know what that's going to bring, and you just want to grind. But, I'm proud of the kids, and I'm proud of all of those things. And the rest of it's, just keep moving.
Coach, Jimbo Fisher stood at this podium on Friday night and said you guys dominated him in all 3 aspects of the game. Just talk about a little bit what that means to you, coming off a team that was preseason number 2 in the nation, has had a lot of injuries, but you came in there, you guys won all 3 aspects.
I have a lot of respect for Jimbo. I think that he's one of the best coaches in the country. He's at an elite program, so, we respect Florida State's program and the talent level that they have. I think, it speaks to they lost their starting quarterback, and even Florida State is going to have a hard time when they don't have the right guy, or I shouldn't say it like that, but when they have a young guy, because he's very talented. And for any team, when you have to replace your guy and you have to replace him with a young guy, there's a maturation process there. And so, I think Jimbo called it the way he saw it. And, you can always appreciate a guy that says, hey, this is how it went down, and not try to dance with it. And that's why I have a lot of respect for him. And, they'll rally back and get that thing, back to exactly where they want to be. But no one's immune. And not in this conference. You're not showing up and playing some team that's not going to line up and play. I don't see it in our conference, So, but I think Jimbo's a very matter-of-fact, straightforward guy. That's been my experience with him, and I can appreciate that.
Last question for me: was there a point in your offense where something triggered that it set the tone for a different season in a way? I know because against Virginia Tech and then against Louisville, something happened that stretch where. I'm just trying to rationalize my mind.
Yeah, that's a fair enough question. Listen, I think the reason I would say what I said early on was on the film you could see that we had some opportunities to make plays all along, right? Every single game we played and the ones that we lost. You mentioned Virginia Tech. Let's mention Virginia Tech. We had the drop touchdown pass. We had the drop ball on the one, And I guess... So you see that we have that capability to do it, but we just weren't making those plays. Why? Well, some of that's probably. I'm not a psychiatrist, but some of that is confidence, And I think the interesting thing, like for example, against Florida State, was that first play or first series we had that touchdown pass to Tommy, and we didn't make it, but we came right back. We didn't do that. A couple weeks earlier, and this is that maturation process, and it's the confidence, and I think our kids just kind of are starting to get more of that, and not living and dying on every play. There'll be another play. Let's get to the next play, and that stuff has a way of igniting. So I think there's probably some intangible things that happen along the way, but I also think that because you still have guys that haven't played a lot of ball at some of those critical positions that, those things can show up again. But ultimately, I think experience and confidence overrides all of that. So we're starting to make those plays, and we're sparking. And then you see on defense, we're sparking, we're making plays, and all of a sudden there's more picks, and there's more, we're doing an unbelievable job with turnovers. We're not turning the ball over on offense, and we're getting turnovers on defense. And that starts to ignite. So, I can't definitively tell you, it wasn't like there was any pixie dust that we sprinkled after that. It just, but we did, I think, based on my comments, we did believe that this was there. And so now we got to keep nurturing it and watering it and fertilizing it and trying to maintain it. And that's why we're playing really good football teams. And not only that in this conference, really good defenses. That stuff comes a lot easier when you're not playing against the same quality of defenses. But we're playing against really quality defenses, and we're doing it against good personnel. So that's a good thing. Yep.
Back-to-back games, you got them out to 20-point leads. How does that really help your team?
Well, that goes hand in hand with that last question right there. That helps. You jump out, you gain a little bit of confidence. All of those things help. Sometimes you get behind and you get a little stunned. So they're all kind of going hand in hand, Although at Louisville we were behind, and we were able to get that going. But certainly coming out like that, we had a big kickoff return and we hit some big plays and we came right back. And I just think that energy and vibe is there. But I've been seeing that in practice too. Anthony's been throwing the ball really confidently in practice with a lot of zip. And so I've seen that. So, hopefully we can continue to grow with that. And a big part of that will be staying healthy. That's a huge component here. And for anybody, though, I mean, week 10, going into week 10. I mean, it's that way across the board. Everyone's in that, we saw that, right? We saw Clemson go on the road to play Syracuse with their quarterback hobbled, lost their quarterback. Saw what that did to them. These injuries are huge, especially at vital positions, and especially if your offense or your defense has got a heavy involvement with that particular position. It can really be accentuated even more. So.
Lastly for me, as far as Anthony goes, first 4 games make you through 7 interceptions, but past 5 it's only been 1. So what development is decision making have you seen?
Confidence. I thought when we had that game against Wake was the one that really stumbled all that. And I think that was a real byproduct. I think for me to look you in the eye and tell you that when we lost John Baker, that didn't affect Anthony Brown. It just did. I mean, here, that was like a security blanket. Do you know what I mean? He made all the calls and the snap. I mean, that's what he worked with. All of a sudden, everything was completely different. I think it affected him. And then he got hurt. And then, got in that little bit of that cycle. But we're out of that now. And that's been such a great thing, And so that's why I said that position's critical, because it brings all the other boats up with the tide. And I believe that. And I think most people do believe that, in any level of football. Wouldn't matter what level we were talking about.